South Jamaica, baby, they made me to be the greatest. Serving the deed of my creators, fresh off of my high haters. It's the king again, Magdalene, chauffeured, bragging and boasting.
Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy Dollars. Welcome back to the channel. It's another day, another dollar video, and I want to talk about Stranger Things Season 4. This is going to be my official review, and it's crazy because I never did a review to anything on my channel yet. There's been a lot of things that came out that I wanted to do a review on, but I never did a review before, and I feel like, you know, I don't want to do a whack-ass review, but I feel like Stranger Things 4, Season 4 was so good that I have to talk about it. So I might be all over the place. I apologize. Bear with me. It's going to be spoiler, just so y'all know. I'm going to be dropping spoilers, and I'm going to just give y'all a brief overview, all right? I recently finished Stranger Things Season 4. I was watching it with my girlfriend. It took me like 2 days to watch it. The first day we ended up watching most of the episodes. I think we seen all 6 episodes. There's only 7. And then the next day we finished the 7th episode. And they broke it up into 2 parts. So season 4, I think, is part 1. And then season 4 is going to have another part, which is part 2. I think it's dropping later this year. I don't know the exact date. And usually I don't like when Netflix does that shit. They did it with Ozark. But I'm going to give them a pass because most of these episodes were hour-long episodes. The finale episode was an hour and a half. So it's like they gave us a lot, 7 episodes, even though it's broken up, the season is broken up into 2 parts. I'm not going to be too mad at them, but I know the reason why they do that is because they want to keep people subscribed. You know, they trying to keep us. They don't want to let us go, so they break the seasons up in half. But this season was amazing though. Like, I really loved this season. You know, it's not perfect, but it was a great season. And at times, it felt like a Marvel movie to me. I'm going to be honest with you. It felt like a Marvel movie to me. This season felt like Infinity War. And I think the next one is going to feel like an Endgame. You know, that like, and when I compare it, I'm talking about like the scope, you know, like what's happening. It feels that epic in my opinion. You know, I feel like it reminds me of Infinity War this season. Also, I was getting a lot of Nightmare on Elm Street vibes. I felt like the horror looked good. Like, this was the most scariest season, I would say. Like, the horror aspect, they turned it up to 10, bro. And there was a lot of crazy imagery, and it was crazy. Like, the way they did this, they stepped up the horror elements a whole lot with this season. Usually, you know, it's a sci-fi horror show, but I felt like they really focused more on the horror aspect, which I felt like was the right thing to do. Also, it's funny that I say that this shit reminded me of Nightmare on Elm Street because the dude that plays Freddy Krueger, Robert Englund, has a role in this show. And I didn't realize it till after the fact. I was watching the credits pop up and I saw his name. I'm like, oh shit, he's in this. And I was feeling like it was reminding me of Nightmare on Elm Street way before that. So yeah, that was a plus for me. There was parts in this season where I felt like some characters were gonna die, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Everybody made it out alive for the most part, like the main characters that we know and love, but there was times when I'm thinking like, damn, like the scene with Max, bro, that episode, to me, that was my favorite episode. When I thought she was about to die, I was getting emotional. I'm like, nah, I don't want her to die. Like, she ain't like my favorite character, but this season made me care about her character a little bit more. And it was like, yo, I don't want her to die, bro. Like, and they really got me because I thought she was about to die. I'm like, nah, they're going to kill her, bro. And when she survived, bro, I was so happy. I was hyped. And I'm glad they didn't kill her off. I'm glad that nobody died this part. But the actress that plays 11, Millie Bobby Brown, she came out in an interview and she said, yo, there's too many characters and she wants some of them to die on some Game of Thrones type of shit. So I expect some of our characters that we know and love to die the next part. And I'm going to make a video like my predictions for the next part. Like who's going to die, who's going to live, what I think is going to happen. So if you guys want me to do that, I want to do it. So let me know and I'll do it. And honestly, I wouldn't even be mad because realistically, bro, like a show like this, there has to be stakes. Because if everybody always survives everything, then you're going to be like, yo, nothing's going to, like, it's not exciting, bro. Like, they always going to live. Like, nah, there needs to be stakes. some characters need to die, and it's gonna be tricky. And I have an idea of who they might do it with. But what I like about this season 2, there was times where I felt like certain things was gonna happen, and it didn't go the way I expected. Like with Max almost dying, I felt like she was gonna die, but it didn't happen, and that was a good thing. So I like when a show doesn't do what I expected to do, but also I like to be able to predict what's gonna happen too. You know what I'm saying? It's like an ego thing, like, oh yeah, I knew that was gonna happen. Like, I'm smarter than the writers, but you know, I like when they fucking do their job and they actually surprise me, like, oh nah, that was good. It's better that way. When they finally do kill some people, you know, I don't think it's gonna be who we expect it to be, but I will make a video giving you my predictions who I think it will be. For the most part, I felt the pacing was good. You know, there was certain episodes where it's setting up what's going to happen. And, you know, we get a little flashback of Eleven's origin story. Because the first episode, you think she's the monster. You think, yo, 11 is responsible for killing everybody at the lab. And you find out later on in the last episode, no, she's not the monster. She really is the hero. But she is responsible for the origin of the main villain of season 4. She created him in a way. And it's crazy because I don't know. Yeah, no. Matter of fact, he created her and then she created him. It's weird because the villain was a normal human being. He was a kid that had the same powers that 11 has. And basically he killed his family. He framed his father, and then he ends up going in the same lab. He's actually number 1. He's the first one. So he was too powerful to control. They took his powers and they experimented on these other kids, and that's how 11 and these other kids got the power, right? But for some reason, they never explained why he freed her. Basically, he freed her, and then he used 11 to free him because he had a chip in his neck, which was preventing him from using his powers. I don't understand. Like, they didn't really explain that too well. It's like, why couldn't you just take it out yourself? But I guess it was something in the chip that prevented him from not using his powers, so he needed 11 to take it out of him. So then he tells her to wait, and then he goes on a rampage killing almost everybody, all the kids, all the other ones that had powers. And then, you know, she didn't like that. They end up fighting. She ends up killing him, but didn't really kill him. Like, she sent them to the upside down. Is that the upside down? I'm confusing that shit with Insidious or something. No. She sent them to the other dimension. I don't know what it's called. And in that dimension, he turned into Vecna, which is the main villain, like some creature looking shit. Remind me of Freddy Krueger sometimes. Like I said, this does have a lot of Nightmare on Elm Street vibes. We know that Stranger Things is a mix of a bunch of other classics, you know, horror, sci-fi. They like to use like certain parts they'll feel like is it. For the most part, you know, this season was setting up what's gonna happen in part 2. Everything was a bunch of setup, and I would feel like, yeah, that's a kind of a bad thing. But you know, I was just they did it so well. The execution was done so well. You know, you could tell that Netflix spent a lot of money on this. It looks good. The CGI looks good. There's certain shots when the kids are dying, when Vecna's killing the kids. The kids that I'm talking about, these are not nobody important, like important characters. But when they die, the CGI looks a little weird to me. They could have did better with that. But this whole season was setting up what's going to go down in the next season. And like I said, I don't have an issue with it because they did it so well. It was executed so well. My main gripe, a lot of the characters were separated for most of the season. Like Mike, he went on vacation, spring break to meet up with Will and 11 in Cali, while everybody else was in Indiana, Hawkins. And then you have Hopper, he's locked up in a prison in Russia. So it's like all the main characters really didn't get to vibe with each other. They didn't have that many scenes with each other, and everybody was separated. And that's why I feel like it's Infinity War. See how Captain America was off doing something over here, Iron Man was off doing something over there, then you had these people doing something. Everybody was separated. That's why it reminds me of Infinity War. And I feel like the next season is going to be like Endgame when they finally team up. Well, at the end of Infinity War, no, they did get back together. No, because Iron Man was on another planet, so they didn't get back together. So Endgame, I feel, is going to be like that. You know, Elle's gonna come at a time when they need her the most. And she didn't have her powers, so basically the whole season was her trying to get her powers too. That was kind of repetitive a little bit, if I want to really nitpick. Like, they really dragged that, but they had to, you know, 7 episodes, they have to drag it out. But the last episode was so good. My favorite episode, like I said, was the one with Max. When they finally figure out there's a way to not defeat Vecna, but Vecna puts kids in a spell where they can't move, and he's like in their mind, but he can still kill you in your mind. Like, it's weird. He doesn't have to physically come to their world to kill them. He goes in these kids' minds, and it's like Freddy Krueger, showing them a nightmare, showing them their past trauma, to the point where they can't move, and he just crushes their whole body, right? So they figured out there's a way when they're in that trance to get out of it. You got to play music, their favorite song, and then it opens up a portal. Some weird shit, but, you know, it's still giving you like little things to grasp on how they could actually, you know, fight against them, I would say. I do wish there was a little bit more action this season. Like, I wanted to see more Demogorgon. You know, I wanted to see Vecna controlling some other creatures and sending the creatures at them, but that didn't happen because he was the main threat. But they build him up, and they didn't really show him like, he killed a couple people, let's be honest, but they didn't really show him sending anybody else to do anything. And I wanted to see that, but like I said, man, it's the first part of a 2-part season. One thing I'm confused about, everybody's telling me season 5 is the last season, and I don't see how, when I feel like the level of epicness they're trying to reach with these seasons right now, part 1 and part 2, how are they ever going to top that? So maybe I'm confused. Maybe season 4 part 2 is actually the last season, and everybody thinks it's season 5, and they calling that season 5, when it's really season 4 part 2. I may be wrong, but I don't see, you know, what else they're gonna do after this. Well, basically Vecna is like the general of the Mind Flayer, I think that's what they call him. So maybe season 5 would be the Mind Flayer, but, you know, they really gotta top season 4, because the trajectory they're going on with this new season was so good, and it's just giving me high expectations. I hope they deliver, and, you know, with the amount of time they took to bring us season 4, they better deliver, bro. Like, they really have to, because they waited too long. But you know what? This was worth the wait. I'm gonna give this a 4 out of 5 this season, a 4 out of 5. I think this is like, after season 1, this is my my second favorite season, and I have high hopes. And yeah, guys, y'all let me know what y'all think about season 4 of Stranger Things. If you enjoyed my review, let me know. And if you guys want me to make more videos giving you like my theories and my predictions about what's gonna happen next, let me know. And if you want me to do more reviews, I feel like the more I do reviews, I'll get better. I'll be more organized. I'm just, you know, doing this from the top. I did make a list of certain topics that I wanted to bring up, which I did. But I will get better doing these reviews. All right, it's your boy Dollars. I'm out of here.
For my time goes by, they gon' raise a nigga jersey in the sky. Treat a nigga right, big dreaming on my life. Shorty wanna get some air, I go and get up when I fly. Taking off on these niggas I retire. The minute I catch fire, I smoked them all before, just revisiting the high.